PowerServe 3D Tennis is getting a failing grade, so if you only came here for the grade, then you can move on to the next video, or whatever it is you want to do with your day. But if you want to know what makes this game the biggest piece of crap I have played so far on the PlayStation 1, let's begin. Let's start with the positives. The graphics are polygonal. Notice that I didn't say the graphics were good, there is a distinctive difference. The character models look like broken puppets. Their bodies bend in all sorts of unnatural positions, at least when you're able to see them, but we'll get into that aspect of the game at a later time. Also, when you're playing two-player, you can literally smash your players together, and what a mess that is. Okay, with the sort of kind of positives out of the way, all one of them, let's move on to the negatives, otherwise known as the everything else about this game. When the game begins, you are going to need to select a player. Let's take a look at these totally realistic and not at all ridiculous names. Check out Edwards, Sunrise, Cappuccino, a woman whose name is Abe, Griffiths, and Legacy. You literally can't make this shit up, ladies and gentlemen, although they literally made this shit up. And I can understand that you have to make up names if you can't get the license to put the real professional tennis players' names in your game. But that doesn't mean the names have to be unrealistic, too. Watch how easy it is. Instead of Cappuccino, let's call her Desiree. Instead of Sunrise, let's call him Brian. The girl named Abe or Abe, let's call her Sally. My point is, you really have to try to screw this up like they did. The images of these characters looks, how do I put it nicely, bad. It reminds me of something that would be generated by a primitive AI website. The poses look pretty unnatural. At least they all have their rackets, otherwise I'd have no idea they were tennis players, am I right? Now the PlayStation, even in its earliest days, was known at least partially for having some pretty epic in-game music. Well, the development team must have missed that memo altogether because it very much sounds like someone who has never played a keyboard before was just sampling random sound banks. Listen to this one. I call this track Bathroom Beatboxing. So, our player, Edwards, is going to serve the ball, and thankfully, that works okay. However, as soon as we hit the first ball, the game completely shits the bed. The camera takes us out of a third-person perspective and into a first-person perspective when the opponent hits the ball back to us. But wait a damn minute! The camera stays in first person and expects us to hit it back? I can't even see where the f***ing ball is. You know what tennis game didn't do something stupid like this? Pong. Yeah, no, I mean Atari's original 1972 Pong. I mean, think about it. Pong was a tennis game that didn't have the graphics, but it also didn't go first person as soon as the second player needed to hit the ball, nor did you have to choose the most pathetic excuse for players I've ever seen in my life. So here's a hot take for you. Because of that, Pong is by default a better game than this PlayStation 1 game. Am I overreacting again? I don't care, let's just move on. Now, to be fair, there is a way to change the camera angle by pressing R1 and have a top-down-ish view of the characters, but it still doesn't help make it any easier to hit the ball. And the fact that you have to change the camera angle to simply make the game playable, which it still isn't, doesn't make it any better. When I can compare a PlayStation 1 game to Pong, and all signs point to Pong being the superior game, you might just have the most god-awful piece of steaming hot dog shit level of garbage on the PlayStation. Also, I hate this game.
Garbage day! Huh? No!
30, 40.
Oh, and by the way, the 2-player mode is f***ed beyond belief. The first player gets to continue having an existential crisis while trying to figure out how to hit the ball, while player 2 has their control switched, if they're on the other side of the court, that is. When player 2 pushes left, they move to the right, and vice versa. What a bad perspective. What a stupid, harebrained idea that was. And that's the whole game. I said it at the start, but I'll say it again. Power Serve 3D Tennis for the PlayStation gets a hard F. I'll see you next time.